Hello and welcome to How to Be an Icon, bonus episode of additions, amendments, extras, etc. That's beautiful. We'll keep all that in.
Everyone loves that sound. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're listening to this, hi.
You're throwing in the Truman Show there.
Oh, is that what that's from?
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Oh, I just thought that was like a...
No, that's the Truman Show, yeah.
Fun fact, I've actually never watched that film.
You know, it's all right. It's pretty good. I'm Jared Jones, by the way, and I'm joined by Donna Cameron.
Hi, sorry, we didn't introduce ourselves.
On this episode of How to Be an Icon, we're going to be talking and discussing our previous episodes that we have done, see the bits that we may have missed, feedback that we may have had, and other bits and pieces. The last time we did this, we have done, I think it's 4 more episodes since then.
We have. Since then, we discussed Katy Perry. These are not in order.
Yeah, we
Katy
discussed
Perry, Anthony Bourdain,
D.W. Griffiths, and Christopher Reeve are the ones that we have discussed since then. And just kind of a little bit of a follow-up and feedback on them. I think the biggest one that we've had of things that, things that have been going on in the world, the most relevant, some might say, to the cultural zeitgeist is Katy Perry.
So I feel a little bad about this because we were sat on the sofa watching something.
Yes.
And you turned to me with your phone in your hand and went, "They've broken up." And then I cheered.
There was a bit in the episode that I did cut out where we both said, "God, I really hope they break up on Tuesday night so that when our episode drops on Wednesday morning, it's going to be like really on zeitgeist." And I was like, "That's cruel. I'll take that out." But it did happen, so yeah. I feel slightly more vindicated on that. I should have left it in.
Oh, and like I said, I feel bad about it because I don't want to delight in the breakup of anyone's relationship. However, really did us a favor.
Sure did.
We've never seen more relevant.
Exactly. We really hit that one like bang on. Of course, the reason why they broke up, it's mostly speculated. We're pulling into speculation station as to why they broke up. They reckon it's because she went to space and it made her look, quote, ridiculous. And then there's some rumors that maybe he cheated on her, potentially. But I don't know how true or substantial they are.
No, we can't confirm or deny anything. But I think when you go, "Babe, I don't think you should go to space," and she goes, "I'm going to space," you go, "All right,
I guess it, would that be the straw that broke the, camel's back on a relationship of yours? If your partner was like, "I'm going to go to space," do you think that would?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
If there's like no actual reason as to why they should go to space. If
they're an astronaut, you can't be like...
No, if that's your job, if you need to go to space, you're space cowboy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But...
the other part of this that I think has to be mentioned is that Orlando Bloom's there like, "Oh my God, it's ridiculous that you're going to go to space. What a PR disaster that is for you. I'm going to go to Jeff Bezos' wedding," and that doesn't have that has no cultural or social baggage attached to it. That's perfectly fine. Just me and my best mate, Jeff. We're going...
You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. You've absolutely called me out on that. You're so correct.
I just feel a bit like, if someone was to make up a big stink about me going to space and then go to, one of the worst people that has ever existed, Jeff Bezos, is that fair?
But then Jeff funded the space flight too, so...
Well, exactly. So, I mean, it's a little... Again,
so
I think it's a bit...
We can agree that Jeff Bezos is not the problem in their relationship. There's something else.
Oh, you don't think it's because Orlando actually wanted to go to space? Do you think that's what it was? He's like, "You're going to look ridiculous unless I
should go. I've been to sea. Now I should go to space."
One of the things about Orlando Bloom, and I heard this the other day and it really made me laugh, was a few years ago he was asked, "What do you do in your spare time?" And he said, "I like to think about roles in movies for minorities and women to play. That's what I think about when I'm at home on my own."
That's like such a weird Alan Partridge response.
Yeah,
I really can't explain how it is, but you go, "Sorry,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, for myself and women and minorities to play. That's what I think about when I'm at home.
It's even funnier because he was seen just acting like an asshole at this wedding, apparently.
It wasn't everyone, though.
Katie knows that he's free to do whatever the hell he wants, and she hoped he'd do it a little bit more discreetly. He's been seen dancing with several young women.
Oh, I mean, he's like just divorced. Like, I mean, you would.
But then he also posted on July 2nd on Instagram, loneliness doesn't come from having no people about one, but from being unable to communicate the things it seems important to oneself. So he's also like vague posting about his like disaster marriage.
Well, maybe there
like
is
a teen girl.
Maybe there is something more to it because, you know, I feel like being quite explicit and saying don't go to space is quite an easy thing to say to someone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not difficult to say. I think that's probably one of the easiest things you can say to a person. But also the thing about Jeff Bezos' wedding, obviously, is in Venice.
Which I heard people love.
People absolutely loved it.
People who live in Venice are so excited for it. It was like Taylortown.
Yeah, it really was. But it's also just like, they're such tacky billionaires. You know?
They really are.
It's quite tragic, really.
It is.
But
they don't have any friends.
No, they don't really. There's just a bunch of weird celebrities that are like...
It's a really odd mix. It was like a handful of the Jenners.
I think quite a few of the...
Orlando Bloom.
Quite a few of the Kardashians were there.
Naomi Campbell was there.
Yeah.
Throwing phones at people, just causing a ruckus.
Usher was there, and I hope that he was the usher for Jeff Bezos' wedding, because otherwise, what's the point? Why would you invite him?
What are you doing?
But yeah, I don't really... I'm like, when do you hang out with these people, Jeff?
Maybe this is too serious a thought to include on this, but being a celebrity sounds quite lonely.
I think
because
it can
I feel
be.
like a lot of these people aren't friends. They just know each other.
Yeah.
And you spend a lot of time just being around colleagues.
I was going to say, I think it's more of like they're just co-worker friends rather than actual friends. You know, I think that's probably more of what happens.
Yeah.
Of like, it's like if you get invited to Karen from accounting's wedding, like, I'll go, but like, I'm not going to be thrilled about it. Like, I feel like I have to go because otherwise it's awkward.
You've made it a social obligation. No.
Yeah.
And that's the very big difference between you and me. I wouldn't go.
I just will not pass up an opportunity to sing Neil Diamond at someone, though.
Ba, ba, ba.
Exactly. Moving on very nicely to our episode on Christopher Reeve.
Did everyone cry? Were you all good with that? Like,
yeah, so I didn't really realize that I'd done so many episodes where it's like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't, you know, maybe I've bitten off a little more than I can chew on some of these. But then, like, Christopher Reeve, like, you know what happens at the end. And it
sounds like I'm criticizing you. It's an absolutely gorgeous story.
It is. I mean, it's tragic. Like, it's, you know.
Yeah, I'm not.
And
I don't love it.
I don't love that for him. We have had the conversation about Christopher Reeve, though. Like, he was just so attractive.
I was looking at the pictures for the Instagram and being a bit like, oh my God.
He's
so handsome.
He's so very...
in a way that, like, so few people are.
And he falls into that weird, unfortunate trap of being... He's too attractive to be the everyman. You know, you can't look at him and go, oh, well, that's just what people look like, because when have you ever seen
anyone
when
look
have you
like
ever
that?
Seen anyone look like that? And
he looks like a painting.
He looks too much like Superman to not see it.
Yeah. No, it's really difficult because also given how tall he is and how in shape he is, he was wanting to do like historical stuff, and you go,
yeah,
you can't. No one ever looked like that.
No one has ever looked like that, except for like maybe like a 1940s ideal man type situation.
He looks like a propaganda poster.
Yeah, he does. Like, and again, that's kind of, I mean, that's kind of Superman.
The point,
you know,
yeah.
But no, it was really hard to like read about. And also, by the way, I want to point this out because someone was like really no-sold me. The Superman documentary is actually pronounced Superman, and there's a slash in between. And I read it as Super Slash Man because I think that's funnier. But someone really no-sold me on that one, so I had to I'm going to say, I know that that's what it's called. I know it's called Superman.
But it's funnier to say Super Slash Man because it's a comedy podcast
Yes.
and we have to try and make it funny because at some point we have to talk about everything that happened after that,
Yeah, exactly.
which is not funny.
It's not
So
funny.
please have it in your hearts to just like...
To understand that sometimes I say things and they are jokes. I do understand that.
We are being ignorant occasionally on purpose.
Yeah.
And some of the joke is you don't know which is which.
Exactly. But yeah, no, someone really, really sold me and actually me on it. So I'm, I just thought I'd put it out there.
Again, we've had a week of that.
We've had a week of it. So, I am aware that is the case of that's what the actual title of the movie is, which is fantastic, by the way. I actually do really, really recommend if you want to feel emotional for an hour and a half, that's definitely a...
Oh, I bet that's a great one to watch on a plane.
Oh, you wouldn't be crying at all. It would be just so fantastic.
Yeah, you'd feel great the whole time. What is the worst film you've ever seen someone watch on a plane? Because mine was The Fox and the Hound.
The worst thing I ever watched on a plane was the movie Frankenweenie, which is...
Yeah, it's about as
it's about
dog movie.
Yeah, dead dog movie. But I didn't know that. I was just like, oh, fun little Tim Burton animation, love that.
No, I sat next to a woman who I saw put on The Fox and the Hound, and I was like, oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit uncomfortably next to this crying woman
Yeah.
for this flight.
Yeah, no. I just think that's so unnecessary to even put that on a plane. But it was back in the day when, you couldn't choose your movie. It would be they sort of ran on a linear schedule. So you'd watch the movie, and then to watch another movie, you'd have to change the channel.
Yeah.
So it was
8 cassettes.
Yeah. You got to lock in. So I was like, well, I'm going to watch this one, and then locked in, and then went, well, I can't change now. I can't stop watching this.
That's devastating.
Yeah. Isn't that awful? Isn't that just the worst thing you've ever heard?
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
So sorry you did that to yourself.
I know. I just didn't know. I just had no idea. And I've never watched it since. And I never will. But yeah, no, there wasn't really too much about the Christopher Reeve episode that really came up.
No, I think you did an exceptional job. The only thing I did have a thought about, and this might be a weird one, the horse riding accident.
Yes.
There is a little bit of the amazing that you just did anything after that.
Yes.
Because I think I would just die of embarrassment.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that.
There's a little bit, and this is a worry that I've had before about getting hit by a car.
Okay.
That you have to lie there and be like, you know what I'm like, because I go, no, I'm fine, and try and get me no, stop it, don't. I just think I'd die of embarrassment on the spot.
I mean, I think there's definitely an element of that with
So I think that's why I got so emotional, because I was so impressed, because I can't even fathom. I'd stop attending a dance class because I fell over.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a bit of the I used to do so much, and I think at first it's that no. I could walk again. You're wrong. I can do it. I think he was kind of a bit under the impression that it was oh no, this is temporary. This isn't going to be forever. This is
Which is a very kind of understandable and reasonable.
We did get a comment on the episode saying about how emotional it was. They remember watching the Oscars where he made his appearance, and
I searched for it to watch it and then just clicked off it because I went, I don't want to ruin my day.
Yeah, I know that all. That all really
I know what I'm like.
It's just one of those things. You just kind of gotta. It's admirable, but also.
I don't want to cry today.
No.
When there's so many other days we could cry.
G.W. Griffith. So, again, this is an episode that I had wanted to do. I'd been reading a book about, cinema and how fun it is that you get to go. There is something, and I don't know how much of this you get. Mm-hmm. I know people's tolerance kind of varies on it, but I do find box office disasters and bombs really interesting.
So do I.
I find them really fun, and I find it really interesting to watch back and, see where it went wrong. Because like we talk about Cats in that episode.
Yeah.
And how much we do enjoy Cats as a movie, which it is fantastic.
Gorgeous. Absolute work of art. No, I am 100% with you. And I'm absolutely fascinated by just kind of anything that comes out that's bad. Because I'm always so interested about the people who are making it. And like the idea of you having to go to rehearsals and everyone in the room knowing that it's garbage, but you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
And just that weird social thing. I'm always like, do you look at someone and go, this is trash, right?
Yeah.
Or do you have to keep, like, the one that does it for me is Broadway shows, because you have to rehearse them for so long.
Yeah.
And you have to go out, at least with a film, you film it and it's done.
Yeah.
You have to go out every night and sing Love Never Dies.
I think the other thing about it is that like and I think another movie that is like kind of very similar in the vein to this, although 100 years later, is Megalopolis, where you just kind of have to trust in the director and go, well, they did it before, they made a masterpiece before, why can't they do it
again?
And you go, I don't get this. But then you go, but I wouldn't have got
it anyway.
I wouldn't have got it anyway
it's
because
made in the edit. There's something higher happening.
Yeah. There is a documentary coming out all about the making of Megalopolis. And it's like a 100% like really filmed, like they're filming every part of the process.
This is the first I've heard about this, actually. That's so incredibly exciting because I've seen it and you haven't.
It's called Mega Doc.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all about the behind the scenes. It's all like 18 months about the making of and following up of Megalopolis. And I just think that like Intolerance, which I'm really annoyed by the way, that I don't say about that in the episode. The second movie is called Intolerance. And the other thing as well that I forgot to mention about it was that people thought that it was like him sort of atoning for
You're like, no, it's him whinging.
Birth for Nation. But no, it's all about, and the through line of it is historical examples of intolerance. Like that's the whole...
Right, but that doesn't work when you made Birth of a Nation.
It also doesn't work because that's not really what it's like. It's kind of forced, like I said, it's 4 movies crammed together. But yeah, that's like the thing of it. But no, it's very similar to kind of like a Megalopolis style flop that you go. And also, I think the fun thing about this show...
Sorry, very quickly, because I found the message you sent me that said, what time are you seeing Megaflopolis?
Yep.
And then I responded with, just got out. It's like a very expensive Mighty Boosh episode, except worse in every way.
That's exactly it. I've still yet to see it, and I really want to.
It was absolutely fascinating because I remember being like, having for about an hour and a half, they're like, oh, this is interesting. I don't know what's happening, but it'll all come together. And I wish I could remember the point where I went, this is bollocks.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know what's going on anymore. This is hot garbage. And I think it's when they're dancing on clocks. And that's not a spoiler.
No, that's just a bit in the film.
But you and I cannot get on a Travelator now without me going, the future.
But yeah, and there's something just so beautiful about that.
It was a gorgeous experience. Like it's like seeing Cats in the cinema
for the first time, and just
that was a real like. I went through so many emotions.
Yeah,
and none of them were great.
No, that's fair. Yeah, no, I just think that like doing this show, it's very fun of like how to be an icon is finding it a little bit when you're in the writing process of going and being like, because the first couple of episodes that we do, which are wonderful, and you should listen back to them because they're so great. But it is a lot of like, we're just kind of documenting people's lives. Whereas like the past couple of episodes, I think
we've got a bit more into the
like, what actually makes someone an icon? What is the thing of it? And it's like, with D.W. Griffiths, it's like, well, there's not that much about his life, and I don't really care. Like, it's sort of the thing of like
the private life doesn't necessarily matter. Where in like contrast like Oscar Wilde,
Yeah.
the whole thing is the private life.
Yeah, exactly. That's where that's the whole thing of it. But like
But
with
who cares where he lived?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't particularly make any difference to because you only know him for most people only know him for one film. But like the reason why you only know him for one film is because his second film was such a bomb that
Everyone stopped caring.
everyone stopped caring.
And
like,
that's so iconic.
and I think there are just parts in people's careers and lives where they, the story doesn't necessarily, they keep going, the story keeps happening, but it doesn't, they've already done the thing that they're going to be known for. And that's like part of it. And I think that's really kind of interesting going back and writing that episode of being like writing all about the production of these two films that were,
Yeah.
But also there's a lot of like it's heavy stuff,
There's a lot of it to go through, and there's so many other podcasts and things that will also sit and go through every little moment of that person's life.
Yeah.
That's not really what our aims and goals are.
No, not particularly. It's like I say, it's
We're trying to figure out how we get famous.
how we become not just famous, an icon.
Well, it's like subscriptions.
Oh, okay. You got to like subscribe to the icon
Because
tier.
you can't like skip right to icon.
Some people do. Some people absolutely
Yeah,
skip
but
right
that's
to
you-
icon.
Ooh, okay. Best person to immediately become an icon.
I mean, probably of the people we've done, I would say Madonna is like the A1 candidate for that. Of like, she just kind of got on it straight away.
Is the Anthony Bourdain movie an A24 production?
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me if it was.
I know people are upset about the casting. I actually don't know who it is.
It's a great question. Is it Jeremy Allen White or something like that? They're like, oh, you played a chef in The Bear.
It has recently been his birthday and the anniversary of his death.
Yep.
We got some really lovely feedback for that episode.
We did. A lot of people really enjoyed it. Someone said they wanted it to be longer.
Please don't say that about the episodes. We
really don't.
There's not the things that are left. You don't want.
The things that are left on the cutting room floor are there for a reason. This is a story from The Guardian from 2 months ago. It is Dominic Caesar and Antonio Banderas to lead the Anthony Bourdain biopic. That's what he looks like. I don't know who he is. I can sort of see it.
Sort of, but he's very pale.
Well, they have this thing called makeup, and it changes.
I know, but he cannot show up in this film with like a wrestler tan.
Well, yeah, like a real like bad orange tan.
I think it's that Anthony Bourdain's tan's so specific because we didn't talk about this in the episode, and we should have. Why he was so tanned, and it was believed by a lot of people who knew him, was to cover up most of his heroin problem. But also, he liked looking like a leather handbag.
I was going to say, you say like wrestler tan. Sometimes Bourdain had a little bit of the Hulk Hogan quality of him, where it's like it's so brown that he's kind of
hot dog.
He's a little hot dog colored sometimes.
Hulk Hogan's is from a bottle, though. Well, Hulk Hogan's from a tanning bed.
It's from a tanning bed.
Anthony Bourdain's is at least from like being on a beach or a kitchen.
Yeah.
A little bit that's like Maillard reaction, I imagine.
Oh, you think that like you get a bit crispy if you work in a kitchen?
I do think so. I don't. It wouldn't be daft. Like if you're exposed to heat all the time.
I suppose. Yeah. I mean, I guess you're getting the like chicken skin kind of thing going on.
A bit of salt in yourself, delicious.
Yeah. No, we got a lot of I think a lot of people had a lot to say about Anthony Bourdain because I think he means a lot to a lot of people,
Yeah, I also think he's really misunderstood in like a wider social thing. Like I think a lot of people like to pick and choose what he is.
Yeah, he has, and this is like kind of not quite the same, but you may know what I mean.
Okay, go on.
Where he has a bit of a Mr. Rogers type quality.
We really want to canonize him and make him, I think, a nicer person than he would ever have admitted to himself.
Yeah.
As well. Like, it's the difference between like seeing the show and reading his writing.
Yes.
In his writing, he's very self-deprecating and is like, he's aware of the character he plays a little bit on TV as well.
Yeah.
I think he would be a little embarrassed by the way people talk about him.
And that's not just him. I think there's quite a lot of people who have had that happen to them. Who
I think that's really common.
You know, I know that Marilyn Monroe is an example of that. Of, you know, she said before she died, I'd rather be famous for a thing that I actually said than, you know, things that
people think that I said.
People think that I said. There's a bit more to it than that. But like, you know, that's kind of one of the things that she...
I like that in trying to quote someone about paraphrasing, you paraphrased it.
Yeah, you know, but...
No,
Yeah, but like, yeah, I think that's quite... And obviously Oscar Wilde, the man who's attributed to the most fake quotes out there.
The only difference is Oscar Wilde would have loved that.
He would have. But I think he would.
But there's such a problem with it because we talked about this together.
I was going to say, I think some of them he'd be a bit like, come on now.
I'm smarter than that.
You know, so I think some people have attributed the quote "live, laugh, love" to him. And that's like...
Oh, I haven't seen that, but you did see me find a really egregious one.
Yes, you go on. You can.
I was searching for Oscar Wilde quotes just in preparation for the episode, and there was one which was, do you remember how? Because I can't remember the exact wording of it.
Yeah, it's, oh God, what it's. Oh, the suspense is killing me. I hope it lasts.
Yes, and it was attributed to him waiting for Lady Windermere's fan to begin, the first showing of it. And I'm like looking at it like, nah, I'm like not crazy, right? And I said it to you and you went, that's Gene Wilder from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because like everything about it's wrong, like the wording, the choice of vocabulary. But it's when you look at something online and you're going, this was on Goodreads.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those things that we then decided that to be able to understand if an Oscar Wilde quote is from Oscar Wilde, you have to imagine that a group of men smoking cigarettes all go, oh, after it's been said. That's the...
If it was said directly at you, you would have to go, oh.
Yeah.
You'd have to be like a bit upset by it because every Oscar Wilde quote is like, life's brilliant if you're not an asshole.
Yeah. So you just sort of have to imagine a group of men going, oh, whilst drinking champagne and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
If you can see that happening when you read a quote that's attributed to Oscar Wilde, there's a good chance that it may be from him. Also, just check that it is. Like that would be my other thing.
That's the other one. Just,
you know, don't spread fake information and actually read through, you know, just check things out.
Hey, try reading a book. And speaking of reading a book.
Yes.
Jared, what is the weather like outside? It's hot. And why is that?
It's the summer.
Thank you.
I thought that was a trick question.
There is no tricks, only treats, but that's a Halloween thing, so ignore that.
Okay.
This is how we're introducing the How to Be an Icon Summer Book Club.
Yes, a thing that you have come up with.
My little brainchild. We all like reading books when we go on holiday. And we've read a lot of books for this show.
We have read quite a few books for the show.
For the month of August, you can join in the How to Be an Icon Summer Book Club. We'll give you some more information very soon, but we're going to pick 4 of our favourite books that we have read for the show. You can read along and join in us on a little special Patreon episode.
Because we are launching our Patreon. It's, yes. This episode is going to go out on our Patreon, but it's also going to go out on our main feed, which is probably where you're listening to it now. But there will be a link down below to our Patreon that you can sign up for. It is currently free. You do not need to pay anything for it. That will change at some point, so please get your checkbook out. Thank you.
Send it to 112 How to Be an Icon,
P.O.
England.
But yeah, no, it's currently free. So
we also accept travelers' checks, actual money, and
solo cards.
If you have any phone top-up cards as well, that would be great. Do they still do those?
What, phone top-up cards? I believe they do, yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, no, so it's currently free. You can sign up on there. We're going to be putting information about episodes and
Our
things
first
like that.
25 patrons get it for free. Everyone else, you have to pay for it.
But yeah, we are going to start doing more stuff exclusive for Patreon. One of the episodes that may be coming up in the next couple weeks,
Ooh.
there may be a movie coming out that we will be hopefully going to watch and see, and we'll put a review up on our Patreon. I'm being very vague about it, but you know, 'cause I don't-
What movie's that?
well, I can't say the movie because if you know the movie, you'll know exactly who it is. You know.
Oh,
Yeah, so, yeah,
no,
it's gonna be-
You want to sign up for that one because it's pretty good.
It's pretty
and
good.
Also, if you sign up for our Patreon, I will be doing.
Yeah, good one.
You can watch me and Jared. And
Okay,
then-
well that's not no, we're not putting that on the Patreon. No, that's not what that's for. No. I didn't agree to that. But yeah, sign up at our Patreon. It is currently available right now. Like I say, it is free, so just sign up there.
Yeah, get your sunscreen, get some books out, and join us for the How to Be an Icon Summer Book Club because reading is fundamental.
That tease for who could be coming up on our.
It's the same tease that we made last time.
Mhm. It sure is. Speaking of books and things with there, we like to end off our little silly episodes of extras and bibbins with any recommendations that we have. A format that we have not stolen from another podcast, by the way. This is a thing that
No.
we have done on our own. This is our own idea. But yes, do you have any recommendations for anything to read or watch or listen to or...
I do have a recommendation for
Okay.
everyone because sometimes life is difficult and sometimes life is stressful.
Mhm.
And sometimes you need to watch people try and set up a charter yacht for guests. Please, if you have not watched Below Deck,
Yep.
it's just some of the most perfect reality television because it both doesn't matter, but it matters so much to them.
Yeah.
It's so vapid. Everyone's angry about things that don't matter.
There is...
And then occasionally someone jumps in the water.
I think the thing that I enjoy most about Below Deck... So reality television has like a real like hit and miss with me.
Such a gorgeous spectrum.
Yeah, and like the premise is big super yacht there, and it's basically following the crew. You've got interior that do all you're serving the food, they're making the drinks, they're doing all the
stews. So they're
yeah,
doing all the laundry and
all that kind of stuff. And then you got the deckhands who are doing like the boat things, the engineering. They're getting the
they got ropes.
They got
and-
ropes, they tie in knots. They got a big inflatable slide that they hate putting out for the guests. And then you've got the captain who, you know, just changed from season to season. But, you know, most of the time it's Captain Lee, who is, you know, just the man who...
our favorite man on television ever.
And this is the thing that I do enjoy about Below Decks is that for the most part, yes, they do have some characters on there that are really playing up to the camera. But there are people, it just feels a bit more...
There are a bit more people who are just at work.
There are some people who are just there to do a job. They're just doing their job and stuff is sort of happening around
And
them.
in the background, you also have people who are sometimes on the holiday of a lifetime
Yes.
while they are having a great time and maybe being a bit messy and weird, which if there's not a camera crew, I bet they're way worse.
Yeah.
But because they're on camera,
Yeah.
everyone's going, oh my God, I can't believe they've drank so much. You're like, you're on a super yacht.
Of course you're going to drink a bunch.
But then occasionally they cross the line just enough.
Yeah. The other thing that is great about Below Decks doesn't matter what show you watch. Because...
Makes no difference.
when
Every
we were-
episode's borderline the same.
Yeah, well, when we were in America, it would be a case of we would come back in, we'd turn on the TV, and there would be a episode from a season, and it didn't matter because the show does a really good job of letting you know who each person is, who the
Yep.
characters are, what previously happened on Charter, and what's happened in previous seasons. So you can just drop in at any point and you get the whole thing.
Yeah.
You completely get all of it. You can watch all season, and I recommend it, but you can just drop in at any point and it does not matter. It's just such a...
You described it as the most second screen show you've ever watched.
Yeah, it
you
is.
can look at your phone and learn everything you need to about Below Deck.
Yeah, and it's like it's done in a way that I find like so much less egregious than other second screen viewing.
Mhm.
No,
Some
it's a
of
great.
which we'll talk about.
It's a great recommendation. I have a recommendation for you.
Hit me with it.
So, traveling on the subway. So,
Yay!
So we went to New York about a month ago, and it was absolutely wonderful, right? And a lot of people have asked me since, being like, oh, did you get taxis everywhere? And it's like,
No.
No, I didn't. We got the subway everywhere.
And it was perfect.
It was absolutely perfect because there was just like so many. It was just like so quick and efficient. Like trains come every 2 minutes. They're right there. And I know people who live in New York are probably going to be like, all right, why are you recommending this? But this is the story that I've told everyone about
I'm so happy.
about why you need to travel on the subway. On our last day, traveling around to pick up popcorn seasoning, which is a whole other thing that we were...
Join our Patreon
Yeah.
to hear about popcorn seasoning story.
Yeah. But we traveled around. We ended up going all the way down to Dumbo to buy...
We traveled from Long Island City to Dumbo.
No, we didn't. We went to Fifth Ave. We went from Long Island City to Fifth Avenue, down to Dumbo, back up to Long Island City.
And people who live in New York are going, what have you just said?
And we did all of this in the space of like 2 hours. We were like
pinging back and forth, just
trying to find...
We needed to do it before we left.
Trying to find popcorn seasoning, which we did find.
And we had some yesterday, and oh my goodness.
It's delicious. My recommendation should have been popcorn seasoning, but...
That's second recommendation.
Third recommendation, Tide pens. Awesome. Best thing that America's ever given to the world is the Tide pen.
Thank you for your Tide pens.
Yeah. But, yeah, these two women, they were... worked in TV.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, I think, worked in LA. The
Yeah.
other one, I think, like, lived and worked in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about Family Feud, the TV show. Yeah. And one of the TV producers, she was on Family Feud as a contestant with her boyfriend's family, which she was also chatting mad shit about because he invited his actual family, not people who she thought would be better at answering the questions.
This was wonderful because I wasn't listening and
Yeah.
you were in the most subtle way being like, Donna,
you need to listen to this.
And I think you like wrote it out on your phone
Yeah.
and was like, just look at these women.
Yeah, because they were talking pretty loudly as well.
Yeah.
They were talking very, very
As
loud.
everyone on the subway does in New York, which I love.
That's the other thing. You pick up so many bits of conversation. This is what was going to be my recommendation for it. Of you hear the most interesting conversations that you just don't hear anywhere else. So she was talking about being a contestant on Family Feud,
Mm-hmm.
and the other friend was asking, "Oh, so did you meet Steve Harvey, who is obviously the host of Family Feud?" And she goes, "Yeah." And they were like, "What was he like?" Now, I'm going to put this out here right now. This is speculation. This is secondhand information. Allegedly.
This is overheard.
Overheard.
We are repeating this from a second or even third hand source.
We are not saying this, okay?
Don't come at us, Steve.
Don't come at us, Steve. I don't know if this is true. This is just what this woman said.
And we'd like to apologize if what you're about to hear fundamentally changes what you think about Steve Harvey.
So she goes, "Yes, I did meet Steve Harvey. He pencils in his mustache.
Pencils in his mustache, everyone.
You are not allowed to take a photo with him because he apparently, allegedly, according to this woman on the subway, pencils in his mustache.
And it's very visible.
Now, I'm going to say I found that information out and I can neither confirm nor deny whether it's true. I will say, though...
Look at a picture of Steve Harvey and you can make your own decisions based on the evidence presented in front of you.
I'm not saying that is true. I'm just saying the next time you look at a picture of Steve Harvey or watch an episode of Family Feud...
You're going to really look at it and you're really going to go...
You're going to really look at his mustache and go,
I don't know, legally or not, whether he does in fact or not pencil in his mustache. We cannot watch Family Feud now without going, pencils in his mustache, allegedly.
Allegedly, he pencils in his mustache. And that is the reason why traveling on the subway is one of the most, there were so many other fun conversations that we heard.
We saw a couple break up.
We sure did. We saw a couple break up. There's so many bits like that.
We heard a woman on the phone just loudly in front of a whole carriage go, yeah, she really needs to fix her drinking.
Yeah. You just see and hear so many things. So that's my recommendation. Travel on the subway. You will not regret it. You'll have a story from traveling on the subway.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, thank you very much for listening to this episode. If you haven't already, please follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from, whatever your podcast platform of choice is. We are also on X, Instagram, How to Be an Icon Pod, and subscribe to our Patreon. Like I say, it is free. We will be having more content going up there over the next coming weeks, months, and hopefully years. But thank you very much for listening. Next week will be a regular episode on someone
real iconic.
Someone who is definitely real iconic. But thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful day and drive home safe.